My Latin fever has taken over my family cooking too, and I always have a stash of ingredients, so whatever the time, whenever the children need feeding, I can do it. I've got some black beans, really beautiful. I love black beans, and so do they. And strange to say, they also like these pickled peppers. They're not as hot as the sliced ones for some reason. I've got tortilla chips, well, just about every sort of tortilla, frankly, because we are tortillas a go-go here. I've got vegetable stock, which I need now for my sweet corn chowder with crisp tortilla topping. Yum. And not very Latin American, I know, but I need it. Semolina. So if I always have these on hand to make supper, from my other pantry, aka the freezer, I've got some sweet corn. Obviously the essential prime ingredient for the chowder. I've got 500 grams of frozen kernels. Not that they'll be frozen for very long. I mean, obviously you can just take them out of the freezer earlier, but I don't always remember to do that. So just pour over some hot water from a kettle, a bit of a stir. And the reason I use frozen corn rather than canned is very straightforward. I just think you make better soup out of frozen, but I do need them soft. I'm doing this slightly back to front, which is to say I'm going to process the corn now, not at the end of making the soup, which is normal. This makes the soup taste much better because you break down the corn now. But perhaps most helpful is that at stress o'clock you do not want to be blending hot liquids. So on top of the corn, I've got 2 spring onions. Obviously there's no need to chop them up because they are going into the processor, but just cut them into 3 each. And now a clove of garlic, just a small one. In that goes. And I know this sounds a bit strange, but it works. 3 spoonfuls of semolina. But I like the semolina not just because it thickens the soup, and a chowder is a thick soup, but because its yellow sweetness echoes the yellow sweetness of the corn. Quick blitz, and we're almost there. Perfect. So this goes into the pan. And on top of this sunshine yellow mixture, I want just under a litre of water. And a slug or 2 of concentrated vegetable stock. Well, use any stock you want. So heat on. And it won't take a minute really to come to the boil, and then from when it starts bubbling it'll be cooked in 10 minutes, and that is all. And while this is cooking, I'm going to get ready a final flourish, a special treat for the children, the chowder's crowning glory. I need a tray and some tortilla chips, but make sure you use lightly salted or even unsalted ones here. So while the soup finishes cooking, I'll pop these in the oven. It's at 200 degrees, by which time the chips will be warmed through. I give each child a shallow bowlful of soup and then a generous handful of this. And what that means is you get the soup, some of the chips go soggy, some of them stay crisp. It's good. Thank you, darling. I've got a little bit more. Any more for any more?
Yeah, please.
Okay.